Hey everybody, what's up? So today's video, we're going to go through some of my favorite rare heroes and why I like them. I feel like one of the biggest questions that I get asked a lot, or not even me personally, just that I see asked in the game, are what heroes to keep and what heroes to feed. So having said that, this is my personal list of rare heroes that I like the most and why I like them. Now, obviously, I recommend, getting in there and exploring. Some of these heroes may not work for you. Some heroes you might love, some heroes you might hate. It's just really all dependent on what your personal style of play is. And I honestly think every hero is valuable, and I think that every hero can easily be made into what you want it to be for your play style. And I think that's a really big thing to keep in mind, is that the way I play the game may not be the way that you play the game. So having said that, let's go ahead and get started with this list. Okay, I'm gonna hope this works. I have recorded this for this is probably like my 20th time. I don't even know anymore, but I'm not gonna give up. All right, so the first hero that I'm gonna talk about is Rhonda. I love Rhonda. I think she's a really, really underrated hero, and I think she brings a lot of great vibes to a team and in very helpful ways. So the first thing that I like about her is that she is a speed leader. So she's going to give you a +9 speed for your team, for each of the heroes on your team, and I think that can be really crucial because the more turns you have, the more damage you can do, right? So on top of that, she grants Board King. Board King is going to give you one additional gemstone move on top of what you would normally have. So usually it's 3 and then you would go to a 4, but if you have a hero like Chloe or Elisar who already match 4 times, they're going to be boosted up to 5, which is like insane. You can pretty much just clear out a whole board that way. So I think paired well with your team, I think she can be really beneficial. At least she has been for me. I need to dust her off my shelf. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is Alias. Now, I know that he is pretty commonplace to see, but he's a really beneficial hero to have. And I think especially when you're first starting out in the arena, or at least that was the way it was in my case, I used Alias for a long time. He is going to inflict decreased speed, and then has a chance to inflict freeze, which means that the opponent can't do anything when it's supposed to be their turn, which is awesome. With a really high accuracy, your Alias can be madness. I've gone against a few that have been really unpleasant to go against, but I think that especially since he is so readily available to everybody, that he's an important hero to focus on. He's a really solid hero to have. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about is Iniela. I really love Iniela. I think that she is also kind of underrated. I feel like I don't see her as often as I would think you would. So she has a chance to inflict sleep on all of the enemy. Now, that just means that when it is their turn, as long as they have not been hit, they're going to stay asleep for that amount of turns when it's. So definitely don't pair her with an AoE hitter or anything other than the green dragon, or Nagash, or however you pronounce it. I am awful at pronunciation of some of these names, so just bear with me on some of them. Anyway, don't pair her with those. You want a single hitter. Next one up, I'm not sure if this is Hempe or Hempe. I personally like Hempe, so that's what I'm going with. I am a big fan of attack up heroes, and she is one of those. She does increased attack and also increased defense for your team, and I think that that is a really important thing to have. I mean, if you have attack up, your team, the damage can be so much stronger. I recommend having her, and then the next one I'm actually going to talk about is also an attack up hero, and that is Bodan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, well, that's what I'm going with. We'll find out. So he is also an attack up hero, but instead of doing the defense up, he's going to do an increased speed boost. So he's attack up and speed. I really, really recommend having attack up heroes on your team as often as humanly possible. I also like to have one in as many colors as I can have. So I think these two rares, Hempe and then Bodan, are really important to have, because then you have versatility on what kind of team build you can have with colors and different raid bosses, or, you know, you don't want to have the wrong color stacked against, you know what I'm saying. You're playing the game. The next one that I'm going to talk about is actually right next to Bodan, and that's Drehos. That is his brother. Drehos is a resurrect hero, and there are surprisingly few resurrect heroes in the game, so I recommend having them in your arsenal of available heroes to use. He only resurrects with like a little tiny bit of health, so you're going to want a healer paired with him for sure, but I think that he's important to have. The next one that I'm going to talk about is everybody's favorite hero, Ketra. Ketra is insane. If you put the right artifacts on Ketra, it is beast mode. She can destroy. I think she's a really fantastic hero to have. I think that even later on, when you have, you know, some of those big legendary hitters like a Sophia, you're still going to love your Ketra, and you're going to be glad that you kept her on your team. So if you get Ketra, put some really strong defense artifacts on her and roll with it, because you're going to love her. She's really fantastic. Next one that I'm going to talk about is a little bit of a different approach. Xena. Xena can be ridiculous. She can hit so hard, but her attack goes up whenever you have a positive status put on her. So my opinion, at least the way that it worked for me, is when I was using Xena, when I first started out with her, I wasn't really a huge fan. But now that I've paired her with more of the heroes that I have now, that I have readily available, like a Strybog, you're going to have such a heavier hit than what you had, because the more of those positive statuses that you can put on her, the harder she's going to hit for you. So I think she is a hero to invest in early on, and then as you're able to put more depth in the team and get her set up and paired with, a hero that's going to bring success to her, you're going to be really impressed with how hard she can hit. So don't lose sight of Xena. She's still there. The next one is Ultan. So Ultan is going to inflict decreased defense on all your opponents, which is so great. I love him, and I know she's an epic, but Zoe is kind of the same way. So decreased defense on all of the opponents is really awesome for things like arena, or for a farmer, if you're looking for a good farmer to take with you while you're just mindlessly grinding forever. He's a really good one to have for that, because he does damage on top of the defense down. The next one up is Floki. Floki he grants immunity. So there are several rare immunity heroes, and I'm not going to go into all of those, but he is one of my favorites. I really like that he does increased speed along with the immunity. I think that pair is just really an excellent combo. Unfortunately, it doesn't stack. You can't have like 2 increased speed boosts, but I think he's a really good one to have. And these are just some rares that I personally love. Now, obviously, everybody has their own opinion, so feel free to drop in the comments who you like, who you think some really good rares are to focus on, and stay tuned, because there is a redeem code coming out. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a good one.